Hello once again, my friends. Hambbage here one more time. Saturday afternoon. This is a triple pack bonus, so hope you guys enjoy. Settle in, get comfortable. Hope you've had your weekend get off to a wonderful start whenever you may catch this up. Just had a kind of a rain downpour cruise through here, so I got a couple windows open. It didn't last as long as I'd hoped, so we'll see how that plays out, but would welcome a little more cooling rain here this evening. But enough of that. It's time. Let's get back into this mine. See if we can stay in the mine a little bit longer, and maybe track down some more chests. Since our last chat, aside from a couple little breaks just to do this and that, and not constantly be at the computer, I've enjoyed a little bit of content that's been going on. I was, just kind of poking around, seeing what of my current subscriptions had activity, and one that let's see, how did it end up? I think I was first off kind of looking and saw that one of the content creators I've followed for a long time had just dropped a video with, like, it said like 14 seconds ago, so and so's video went live. And I was like, oh, that's awesome, cool. And because I was live though, or was watching in real time, going to be online, was that just like, ooh, look at the block, maybe that's another tunnel. Because I was going to be around, I was really looking to see if anybody I follow was going to be on Twitch or anything like that. It's so rare that I get a lot of opportunity to interact on Twitch that I was kind of hoping to catch somebody on a weekend stream. And that same person that popped a video, he'd been live fairly early yesterday, not today, and heavier in the YouTube than the okay, this is back over to the dirt hole. For those of you guys that have seen the previous videos, you've definitely popped in here before, sometimes in the midst of some exciting combat. We'll hope for not too much of that, but I would like to get this cool if I can. So anyway, let's try to finish the story if we can. So yeah, I was looking there, and then I checked Discords. A couple of the ones that I either share some content on or just check into for updates, and I really wanted to get to this particular YouTuber's Discord to see if there's any mention, like, hey, I'll be online this evening or anything like that. Didn't see any of that, so I don't expect that there was any of that. But once you get Discord launched, then you get updates on all the other Discords that you're connected to, who has activity or any of that. And one of the content creators that I've shouted out several times, not that I have so much weight or anything, but I've really, since I started, I found JDMC's content and have been just a huge fan. I've talked about it before. He does tutorials that are absolutely top tier. We all play the game, whatever the style is that suits us. So you may find that that either matches or doesn't match your style exactly. And it's a little beginner centric. It's a tutorial, right? That's part of it. But he's not going advanced techniques or anything like that. It's ideas to get building, get out of the square house mentality a little bit, and really cool. But I've long praised his style of a spider. Setting his graphics work is great, and the content is just I think he's got some shaders, or I think he actually, for his tutorials, he does the building in vanilla and then will actually pop them into a shader for a look after the fact, which is kind of my preference there, right? I love shaders. Some of the skies and things like that look so cool, but when I'm playing the game or when I'm watching it, I kind of prefer to just see the game, and I've said that before. So again, really cool balance there, but then he does these cool things for engagement. He does homework, and all tongue-in-cheek, right? But homework ideas, and then pop quizzes in the chat, and they're or in the comments for his YouTube, and they're basically just build idea. Like, hey, the quizzes. I think the last one that I saw to respond to, he was making a little workshop, kind of like a blacksmith's workshop kind of deal. And so there were questions about what I think he said, what's your favorite villager profession block? So, like a lectern or one of those. And then have you built with copper? And I think that's just such a cool way to engage people and bring them into what you've got going on, by getting responses in the comments. And it's tough, for whatever reason, people aren't as receptive to putting specific answers and things in comments. I don't know if it's just a reluctance to, or if it's an indication of how much of the video is getting watched. In my case, probably more so than less, and that's okay too. I'm not trying to act like that's not a thing, right? I do the same thing. Sometimes I just don't have the time to get through a full video, but I still want to acknowledge for the creators that I want to support that, hey, we've got, I was here, you get a view for it, I'm going to give you a like. Even if I don't have time to watch it, I'll probably circle back, but get you some feedback. And if I do, I'll try to comment on the content, but I may not see the full video to be able to say, oh yeah, it was really this part or that. And with his, I can already see, even for me, who's really trying to support and be an engaged audience member kind of stuff, I definitely end up spending more time, or will stick it out, or at least skip ahead, even if I know, was it today or was it a couple days ago? I don't know. One of the recent ones, I was watching it and knew I had to be somewhere, so I was kind of like skipping through, but I made sure to get up to the quiz and the homework, which he's got at certain points in the video, to make sure that I could support him the best I could by kind of anticipating those. And I figure, if I provide some kind of feedback to the quiz and the questions he's asking, yeah, maybe he doesn't care. You know, I think he was awesome to me. Um, Definitely came out and checked out my stuff too, and gave me some good comments and feedback along the way. Um, which you know, it's a give and take. That's how we all grow, is by checking out content, recommending it, and then welcoming them into our own viewer base, and you know, supporting theirs too, because there are very few of us that are just completely consuming this without also trying to do a bit of it ourselves. So he's always been, you know, it seems to be a really good guy. I don't, you know, I've been watching a few videos here for a few weeks, and you know, I could be very surprised sometimes when people get into a live environment. Things change quite a bit, so we'll see what happens. But I am super excited to say this evening. I'll probably play something that's not me recording Minecraft so that I can watch on Twitch when JD goes live. And congrats to him. I found out shortly after that he'd had a child, and he and his wife, obviously, and congrats to her. Um, so he had said, I haven't been streaming in quite a while, and he marked this as an upcoming event. He was like, I am not going to miss the um, just gonna snap a screenshot of that one. Hope I don't fill up my screenshots directory. Okay, that was cool. Yeah, so he's been away since I've been watching him on YouTube. He has not done any streaming, and I kind of found that out inadvertently because I saw that he had a listed. This out had a listed Twitter channel, but you know, it had like 2 streams in the past 6 months or something. I don't even know. So I'd asked, like, "Hey, what's your streaming schedule?" And somebody else on the Discord just said, "He'll be back to it, but he hasn't been going for a little bit. Here's why." And so I'm excited to get to see what the live JD is like. What his play style is when it's not pre-recorded, how that goes. And I was watching earlier before I started this one. When I went into Twitch, it actually recommended, hey, you know, if you're looking for JD, he's not online, but try out these channels. So I hung out in maybe 45 minutes or something like that watching. I don't know anything yet about how they got this stuff set up, but he's a part of Adults Craft, which, you know, like any of the others, is kind of content creator server stuff, and they're doing a charity stream today. I don't know how that works out, but awesome. I hope they have a very successful outing for a good cause, and just wanted to shout out that if you happen to get this and you aren't on my Twitter, I did make a mention there too in the latest video notification, but just wanted to get that out to anybody here that may happen to catch this and looking for something to do. If you're waiting for another video from me, this is it for today. There will be more tomorrow, but come on over, hang out, support a really cool, seemingly good guy, YouTuber, and at the same time, hey, you know, maybe we can rub elbows in the chat, get to say hi back and forth, and some of that kind of stuff. That's, you know, that's the cool part about all these platforms, is being able to have that dialogue. So if you're kicking around on a Saturday looking for some content or something, I would humbly recommend it, and hope to see any number of you guys there. Again, pretty limited. I know. I appreciate all of you guys that are watching me so much. I know there's not a ton of people catching every video, But those of you who are and are commenting and stuff, man, I appreciate you guys so much. So thanks. And if the fates align to get that word out, yeah, it'd be awesome. But even if not, that's what I plan to do, more as an info of it than anything else. And yeah, I don't know. I'll play something else offline. I got it going. I've been a few weeks ago. I don't know if I mentioned it on stream or not. I kicked off a fresh Skyrim world. It'd been a long time since I'd touched Skyrim on my PlayStation, and I always kind of seem to get to about the same point in Skyrim. You know, each time I think I'd build a little more momentum and kind of push through a little bit more. But it's another of those games, we've talked about it before, where you get the feeling, and Blizzard games, you know, we talked a little bit. I absolutely, some of my favorite games are Blizzard games, Fallout 4 and Skyrim, certainly. Blizzard, Bethesda is what I meant to say. And I've spent lots of hours on those two, just really having a blast. And oh man, I hope you guys are getting this okay. Hang on a second. Oh boy. Hold on. Okay. We're gonna have to even quit the game. This could be another one. It's only 16 minutes in. Let's get a. We'll be right back. Technical difficulties. Please stand by. What I'm doing is saving and quitting the game. This is so classic Hambbage. All right, now let's relaunch. While I'd been watching some of that stuff on Twitch and YouTube, I pulled out my headset, and I'm like, as I was shooting up at that creeper and the spider, I was like, man, those are really quiet. It's because all the audio is going out of my laptop. So if the audio levels have been jacked up, I apologize. You probably noticed a big change there when I plugged in the headset. And my headset, for whatever reason, some things switch back and forth no problem. Like Twitch, you know, if I'm in viewing stuff, seems to do just fine. It will recognize the new audio out at least and switch that. Now I haven't done any streaming, so I don't know if that makes a difference. But it does not do well if Minecraft has already launched and then I either try to plug in or unplug the headset. It won't pick up the right audio and then gets a little clunky. Other games are even worse. Support your elderly relatives and friends. You know, that's something. I try to allude to it when I say go take a break. You know, give somebody else a hand. You know, take care of yourselves. I think it's really important to get that message out. I think people have really stepped up through the pandemic. Taking care of neighbors and family members, people that are isolated and couldn't get out, travel. But don't forget about those people now that you've reconnected a little bit or made a connection. Maybe somebody that you know was a neighbor or something, you didn't know them at all. Don't lose that now, just because COVID is a little more under control. We want to make sure those people continue to get your support and just your contact. You know, a lot of folks, as their own mobility dries up, their social circles shrink as well. They don't have as much opportunity to go out and have contact with people. And yeah, they may be able to now go get groceries and things like that, which is great. You know, hey, first of all, awesome. not being able to do that is enough to really impact some people's lives. So, and that's without just the risk, that was so present of being exposed to COVID. So it's great that people have that opportunity back, but don't forget that a lot of those people maybe didn't have a whole lot of excitement or entertainment, and having had people reach out just to say, hey, how you doing, and maybe come by to remind them, and maybe they're not even relatives. Like I said, maybe it's a neighbor or something like that. If you found some of those people, I just beg, basically beg you to make sure to make a little time, just to maintain. They may not be your best friend. It may not be like a Hallmark card or a movie, right? They may have some smells and stuff, and their stories may be a little rambling and hard to follow. All that's okay, but just when I say giving somebody a hand, they'll appreciate it and you'll feel great too. It really is true. They may appreciate that even more than especially if they just don't have as much to. I don't mean to say this to sound mean, but if they're tougher to be around, they may actually appreciate it all the more. If they're a little gruff or a little abrasive or have attitudes and things that are just like. And remember, so many people that do kind of seem dated or outmoded, go, wow, how can you still think? Well, a lot of those people don't have exposure to do new or changing or different ideas. When you don't have a lot of close family members around, all you're left with are your own thoughts and experiences. So sometimes it takes having friends or people that care enough to talk to them to say, hey, let's have a conversation. But if you're saying some old weird, um, insensitive stuff, whether it's about people's sexual orientation or religious beliefs or race or anything else, don't just assume that because they're old they can't change too. It's more, if they don't have anybody that actually wants to have a conversation, and not just a you're wrong, you're a fool, because those people have probably lived a lot longer than you or I have. So you don't need to get in their face and tell them, oh yeah, in my mind you're wrong, because they've seen a lot come and go, and they used to be those people too. They're not gonna respond to that, but listen to them. And hey, what's your life been like? Have you ever had an interaction with somebody who happens to have a different sexual orientation or a different religious background? Maybe they've never had that opportunity because until a very short while ago, a lot of those people lived very silent. They may not have known that people around them actually were, feeling oppressed and afraid to share those important attributes of their lives. So, soapbox time, huh? Man, I've been very soapboxy about a lot of stuff recently. Sorry about that. Um, it's just cool to have the opportunity to go support our older neighbors and friends and relatives, right? That's what it said. So definitely do that. If there's anything we've learned out of COVID, I think that's a good thing we can all take away is, you know, interacting with folks that are just lonely and feeling like the world's moved past them a little bit. Man, that's got to be tough. Um, and I think so many of us are blessed. We still have parents and family around and all that, but not everybody does, and it's kind of bleak to think about ending up in that kind of a situation. So I guess I kind of look at it as like paying it forward. Like, what if that ever did happen? Wouldn't I like to have folks to just chat with, have a cup of coffee and something. And I think that gets hard. But again, we're fortunate. We've got friends all over the world. At least I do. Family too, but through games and shared interest and technology, we can have these conversations worldwide, and that is powerful stuff. So hopefully, by the time we get that age, we'll just plug in our brain chips and be connected to a whole bunch of people. Okay, now we're gonna get all the Endermen. Speaking of brain chips, can't wait to get a brain chip. I know everybody's like, "Oh man, Enderman, blah 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 blah," all this. Psh. You telling me you get a brain chip that it's just in there? Presumably they get all the bugs worked out, right? No kinks, no nasty surprises, but something, we've got to be so close, right? We've all the stuff that has become available in my lifetime, and that's not super long, is just amazing. And then you give that another 20, 30, 40 years of expanded tech. Things aren't slowing down. People aren't innovating stuff less quickly as we go forward. So you got to expect that more and more people with more access to develop new stuff. Back when Silicon Valley was the hotbed, there were a few other pockets of the U.S. and Canada and probably Russia and China at the time. Maybe China lagged a little bit back then, but a few places in Europe. That was about it. There weren't just people innovating left and right. Now that's truly global. Now you can be anywhere on a PC and be coding. Have your own idea for something that might change all of our worlds. And yeah, you still may need to get some startup capital. You may need to have some patronage or some university resources. I don't know. I know that can differ how it looks in different parts of the world, but more people with access to do and try and recommend new things is only good, right? That's just gonna keep moving forward, and that's something to get excited about, I think. So I do think probably not realistically in my lifetime. I think we'll be a bit beyond that before the idea of like a brain chip is really a thing. But when I was a pretty young kid, they had been happening for a while, but things like heart and lung transplants and pacemakers and things like that were all crazy new experimental treatments. And now, I think I'm kind of curious now because I have no idea. How many people do you think in the U.S. or the world or anywhere that have pacemakers, functioning, pacemakers, keeping them alive that would otherwise have been dead, right? and that's not too new a deal, but we accept that. Oh, Grandpa's got a pacemaker. That's just how it's been, and the fact that now some of those aren't even needed anymore. Now, the microsurgery stuff that can go in and deal with potential clots that could could cause a heart attack or a stroke or something like that without ever having to put in gear and devices. So cool, so exciting. Um, so yeah, I think what was once an idea, scary cyborgs in science fiction and all that. I mean, we already are, right? Think about all the prosthetic limbs and things. You think once upon a time those were peg legs, and I say that in the true pirate sense of basically somebody just carved a piece of wood and put a leather strap on it to jam it onto the stump of your leg that got taken off by a cannon or something, right? Um, but now we have the ability to attach legs or limbs which can actually provide feedback back to the human nervous system. And that's crazy. How life changing is that for people who've been unfortunate enough to lose a limb or something? That's just wild. And cochlear, is that it? Implants, the hearing stuff. It's just so cool that all these things are getting answered. And yeah, we're effectively cyborgs. We're replacing pieces of our bodies with technology, um, and that's gonna have been so completely done before there's any real reservations about it, that I don't think it's ever going to be the thing we kind of thought it would be in terms of a stigma. Um, we're we're just going to be augmenting along the way, and that won't really be a deal. Now, I don't know. Only you conspiracy tinfoil hat people out there. Some things like maybe the military and some of that. I mean, they already have stuff on the Discovery. Well, back when the Discovery Channel used to be about science and discoveries, um, there were shows there, specials about robotics and the U.S. military developing um, augmented legs, not for disabled people, but like backpack and spine assisted servos that basically attach onto your legs. And, think any video game that has some of those kinds of mods or gear. I mean, we played Dungeons of Dreadmore quite a bit. That's something I should really get back to at some point. We haven't even finished our first guy. Got pretty deep. I kind of lost track. We'll get back to it at some point. But yeah, I mean, I think in that, I don't know if we're still using it or not, but one of the effectively ring things was a servo arm that you could wear. It helped for mashing things, and maybe I don't know if that one had carry weight, but that's more the realistic military application is a soldier with a spine, so like back support and then amplified stuff going down the backs of the legs. So you basically have metal reinforced, and it triggers off your nervous system signals. So it's really just you're walking, right? You're doing it all. It just has the sensors and then the coding to interpret when your right leg muscles fire or right leg nerves fire to make your muscles contract and make you start to take a step. Those servos then do the same in conjunction, and they will then fire an external hydraulic that applies the same function, but basically lets you carry ridiculously heavy packs um, of gear across miles and miles of hiking. And anybody that's been in the military, anybody that's done any camping, long backpacking trips and things, you can all relate to the idea of how nice it would feel to, instead of hiking for 10 miles carrying 70 pounds and feeling like you're your feet are ready to collapse down into goo, uh, carrying triple that and feeling like you could go for another dozen miles because you know your legs have barely done any of the work. It's all been augmented. That stuff is amazing, and I think we're if it's not already there, you know, some of the Marvel movies along the way, kind of, you know, that's again Stan Lee's writing in the '60s when this stuff was still unfamiliar. How's it gonna look? Now it's very familiar, and I think you know that the storyline is actually kind of we've already passed it because it's all around us already, and it's not going to come in the form of scary monsters and stuff. It's going to come in the form of uh, kids that you know don't have to go stay in hospitals for chemo or something like that when they are seriously ill. Um, they just have insertable pumps so that for the duration of their treatment they can be at home when you know with their family. Yeah, they may have to go into the doctor to you know do all that kind of stuff, but yeah, minimally invasive. So pouches, I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking out of my you know what, but um, those are the kind of things that who would possibly say no to you telling me that this you know potentially terminally ill child who either has to go and spend their final days in a foreign and antiseptic and terrifying hospital, or they can stay in their own bedroom with their own toys around their own family and you know get the best possible chance of surviving it. But whether they do or they don't, at least they're in comfort. So that stuff is amazing. I've hyped before. Um, One of my favorite books growing up, and I still recommend it to this day. Um, it's called Reach for the Sky. Story of a guy named Douglas Bader, Bader, of the English RAF, who fought in the Battle of Britain after having lost both his legs in a training flight accident and having to convince people that no, I can really still do this. The loss of my legs does not impact that at all. Um, Very cool story. I've talked about it before. I won't go into a whole lot of book review stuff, but definitely worth it. But what I wonder, you know, is having um, having had that as a uh, I don't know if intellectual food is the right word, but you know, as a story and an experience I was intimately familiar with as in my formative years, right? You know, here's this guy, and what was a well written story, not overwhelmingly deep or anything like that, but accessible to a teen, whatever, however old I was, you know, maybe teen, maybe a little younger than that. I don't know. Couldn't even begin to guess when I first read that, but very accessible and very welcome for that reason. What? This is going to get difficult until I can get past them. I get hit from all directions. All right, that's good. Uh, got any more creepers back there? How am I out of... I was out of torches. Not out of torches. Okay, creeper. Come on, buddy. This way. Oh! Ah, where did you go? You're the worst. This. I talk, in the context of the game, like, hey, you're the worst, man. You guys never. I love that mechanic. It is so when you've already gotten to the point where, yeah, we're gonna fight some creepers, but they're not entirely complex. And as much as it's fun to laugh at the skellies and be like, why wouldn't you shoot that creeper for us? It adds a ton of depth to caving when you don't otherwise need to worry about, like, can I time a creeper to go through and get the album, whatever the album may be. Um, I love it. So we'll keep trying. And it's throwaway, right? There's no big harm done if it doesn't work out. It's just the deserts at night are another good fun area to just run around and try to kite a bunch of skellies long enough. What was that? Do I know what that was? Should I be worried? What? And maybe it was something burning up? It just made it sound weird? There's some diamonds. Oh no! Ah! Amateur hour here at the Apollo. Thanks everybody. Tip your waitress or your wait staff. They'll be here all night. Don't go mining diamonds over the edge of lava when you don't have any inventory spots to grab them with. Got some wood for the pink box. We got some blue stuffs. Maybe we can dump a few of these things back. Let's try. I don't know how full any of that stuff is. And we don't need those. Let's go in the pink box. Old blue box. That's what I was trying to do. So that's pretty good. Retained a bunch of space in this box. And I do think that one's gonna, nope. It's gonna go in here. Zero full. That's full. How full do we get here? Not very. Okay. That's still good. This is the one we need though. Load up on a few more torches. Everything else seems good and ready. I should have left them because we're going to have all these different deep slate varieties that I should probably just store again while we're down here. This is a good little node. I don't know. We'll kind of run through. I'm wondering. I really doubt we've seen everything in this cave, but I'm not aware of other. Sorry, not cave. Mine. I'm not aware at the moment that there are other areas we haven't that are still just dark, but that we've seen. I think most everything that was like a hallway that ran off into the distance. I think we've seen most everything of that. At least I'm not aware. Like, oh yeah, there was this one that I can picture in my mind back to, which is a state to get to. We haven't found the other thing. Roundabout all the way back to the beginning of the stream after we'd oh, now that was some better stuff. Jumped in there, and then I almost did the exact opposite. There's one more. Can I get you stones? You and you and you. It's fine. So yeah, one of the other somehow in the midst of looking around at what all was on Twitch, I saw Chosen Architect was on. I don't think I'd ever seen any stream activity of Chosen. He is, as you may guess, a good builder of builds, various machines and mods and things like that, and at times has been highly leaned on in some of John Bams's Big Dumb Builds world creations. So somebody I was familiar with was checking him out. Again, it would seem for very different reasons, but similar to me, as a modded guy, he had also been behind on the 17. So he was in live streaming some vanilla and was playing around a little bit with azalea trees and the bush, bush modification there to keep them short. And I didn't see as much as I might have liked to. And he was kind of switching back out to a mod that he'd been playing, so I kind of moved on to other stuff that was more my cup of tea. But it was cool, cool always to see some of these YouTubers and stuff that are live and going. Man, did I ever even finish? So anyway, as I said, check out JDMC this evening. Again, that's JAYDEEJD, and then the letters MC. He'll be in the Minecraft directory starting at 7 p.m. Mountain, and it's the 19th today. So, would be a very cool opportunity. But I'd found one of the other streamers on whatever the server is. They were playing some server-based UHC with 2-person teams, maybe. Which I don't know. I know UHC certainly, and for those of you guys that don't, I don't play it, but UHC is a modified version of hardcore where you do not regenerate health unless you have enchanted apples for sure. Was it also golden apples? There's just a couple of the food items that actually would give you health. It's not just from naturally eating food and recovering it. And then it still has the 1 life to live and all that kind of stuff. So they were playing on a server, and I don't know if this is. It said UHC for the next blah, and then some other thing I wasn't familiar with, like AHD or Q or something like that, which could be another mod. I have no idea. But they were playing, and it certainly seemed that they didn't have the regen, but were still having, it was like a combat PvP server, so I got to watch a couple kills and all that. That was pretty cool too. Some person I've never heard of, but was in the same charity stream stuff. So thanks Twitch for the recommended content there. Got to hang out for a little bit, and that's what I feel better at, because it was like a four person chat, so not a ton of viewers for whoever that person was. But you get to come in, hey, what's going on? This looks great, and some of that kind of stuff, and just it's always good to watch. Even though I don't play, I've never done servers, I've never done any of that. It's good to see how people approach those kind of things when you don't have the option of enchanting super top tier gear. These guys are running around with 5-6 levels and putting whatever enchantments they can on it. All of a sudden, prot 1 and unbreaking is huge. If you get that on a piece of diamond armor, you got to take that, because it could save you if somebody comes down to take you on head to head. So makes you kind of rethink. All right, well, if that's important in PvP, does that help us in a PvE, just hardcore vanilla scenario too? And always worth just thinking about it. Like, okay, is that something? The drawback, I still kind of support the way that I play. It is a little counterproductive to these textures. All right, what's the goal? It's a little counterproductive to be dropping diamonds so much if you don't have potential human killers hunting you down. It's best to know that you can kind of balance out the risk of creepers and all that, or try to get your full diamond enchanted going as soon as possible. If you don't, then and again, it all plays out. If you get Fortune 3 early, you're gonna have lots of diamonds, and you can kind of afford to make a stopgap set of iron armor to get some quick base enchants on, and then know, hey, I'm gonna have a bunch more diamonds in just a bit here, and we'll use those to try again and make the top tier armor. We didn't have that particular luck play out for us. I think we're just going in circles here, but I'd still welcome any additional mine fun here before we just completely pack it up. I think we've done really, 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 really well, and at any point now we can head back. I think, depending, never say never, especially in Minecraft, but barring new chambers or anything that just open up and, oh yeah, we got whole new sections here, I think we're going to call this pretty good here towards the end of this episode. How far in are we, by the way? Now that you guys can hear me. So we're getting close. We're about 54 minutes. I really hope that audio doesn't sound too awful. My apologies, guys. It's just another way you can get yourself. I was here early today. Stream decks, and how potentially useful those can be. Again, I think they're completely secondary level gear. You don't need to feel that in order to be a streamer you have to have a 15, 16, whatever they are, button deck. To manage your content. It's probably very nice. That was stupid. Unless it opens up a new mine area. Doesn't seem to, though. It's weird. Why would I have carved out all that area and not gotten those two pieces? That seems to be going away from the mine. It's just copper. We chose wisely. Gold. Yeah, this is seeming like a nice little spot. Ooh. Apparently we are quite low. Yeah, I don't know if this is technically worth it or not. But, who cares? Ooh. I didn't even notice that. I was so caught up with the lava. Copper. Full. Sorry. Just kind of focusing here on getting stuff loaded back out. Tough. Always tough. Okay. Let's see how far any of this carries us, and then let's get going. More goodies there. Am I missing anything? I think so. No, I just don't know. Like, is this the way we just came from? Is it not? Here's our ravine. Is that gold? That's gold. You did say we needed gold badly, right? You guys all heard me say that a couple episodes ago. Yeah, we definitely want to go over to that. So we got some glow berries. We need to figure out what those are. And that was kind of what I was talking before. Chosen was working through some of those same kind of things himself. It's always kind of fun to watch somebody else. So he was working on azaleas, which I haven't really talked about much. I love azalea trees. They're quite attractive looking trees when it comes to trees. And I think they're pretty cool. So I'm glad to see them in the game. But having not seen any yet, I had no idea what their deal was, how to best enjoy them. Ha ha ha, I saw you, sucker. Did he fall? Sometimes they just decide that it's not worth it and they just throw themselves off. It's an interesting strategy. Not one I really recommend. Try, and it possibly be great to get back to where we first came in here, which I kind of think was over this way, right? We may be up much higher than we were. But is this it? Or is this just some random cave? Just the random cave. The chest. Or the chest. no idea. No copper though. We're leaving. I'm leaving. I was just coming to look for stone. We'll never leave if we don't just go. Let's try this. All dirt. Everywhere there's dirt, dirt. Till we come up into darkness. Oh, hey, this is more exciting than just making a stairway, huh? Got some coal right here. No, I thought I could be done with this cave. Ha! Ha ha ha! So hopefully we're going to have some nice supplies of copper as well as everything else when we get done. We can do a little bit of building with those blocks and slabs and stairs and what have you. I think that's kind of the extent of it, but it would be cool nonetheless. We, again, need to remember to use fortune on our blocks when we do get back, so that we get those raw pieces, and then those can be converted into ingots and we can stock up. We need the gold badly for more apples. We use so many in that raid. And the iron, we want to get that second beacon set up all on iron. Oh. You still coming? Where's your skelly buddy? Come on, man. Why didn't you shoot that whole way? Worthless. So, I think I'm gonna let the creeper just go. Now we'll try to stay up the high point here as opposed to backtracking, but got some a little bit more coal here to grab. Oh, I thought that was gold for a second. Nice. Iron's still good. But who are we kidding? It's not gold. Okay. Of course we left a bunch down. Alright. Oh. Alright, should we go back up this way? I don't know if we're ever coming back here. So my questions for you guys. Call it the JDMC honorary quiz question for chat. If any of you guys have made it this far and feel like answering, kudos to you. I appreciate the feedback. My window's open. I hear like some look, maybe it's like an Amazon truck backing up. It's like the beeping of a backup, but it's very lightly pitched compared to like the garbage trucks and stuff like that. And we all know they were here yesterday. to fight. Ooh, phantoms. Ah, missed them both. I can't hit anything. Am I even... Oh, you were there. Where's the other one? Oh, come on. Clearly, I was not ready to fight. Ha ha ha, I hit one of them at least. Oh. Okay, he burned up. Now. Oh, that's a bummer. Okay, let's... Yeah. Okay, well that at least gives us a bit more inventory space. As you guys may have noticed, I'm trying to ignore a little bit. I know this is probably very long now, but I'm going to try to... I'm pulling up the coordinates here. Copperclad Mine Stair, 19959. I think I have this written down actually somewhere. Oh, I wrote down other stuff. 19959 and 1332. Both positive. 19959 and 1332. So... Okay, that's going up. Oh. That's neutral. Oh. No! Jerk. No. Ah! Oh, someone else. Was that a skeleton shooting the phantom? That's pretty good. I should keep eating here. I should sleep. Granted, I know this. But I can't even really... Okay, that's the wrong way. That's the right way. That's the wrong way, so it's this way, right? South, east. 19959. Oh, man. Okay, southeast. Oh, that's cactus. So now we can see if we can have some fun with these guys. Come on, creepers. Shoot them! Shoot them! No! That was such a long fuse, guy. Okay, there's another one. Come on, buddy. It's like they know my game. They don't want to play, or they want to play too bad. Okay, now where are all the creepers? Okay, there's the creeper. Hi, guys. Yep. Oh, man. Come on. Shoot the creeper. Shoot the creeper. Yeah! Got it. Okay. Getting a bit chaotic. I guess I could let that creeper blow up. It's just, oh, I should worry about my armor, huh? Or at least check it. Nope. It's not what I want. Okay, it's fine. I was just thinking, you know what we haven't had yet? Any baby zombies to be trouble. Alright, now I just got one skelly. What happened to all the other skellies? They're who we need. They shoot each other. Yeah, that was it. Darn it. I don't know if any of that will turn out well. But, come on, get in close here. Oh no! Maybe a phantom thumbnail? Could be fun. Well, you're gonna burn up Ward? I think Ward is new. I don't think we had that one yet, did we? Well, that was fun. I love the mining. We've had a lot of fun on those recent episodes, but sometimes it's just ouch. That's a good thing this helmet has that nose guard because that one looks like it smarts a little bit. Just saying. Um, so now this should be driving us back back the way we came. We got a little bit of a trek, as I recall. 19, 9, 59, and 13. So I think this way more, right? Yeah. We got 1,400 blocks or so to go this way, and only a couple hundred to go east. So south it is. Which makes sense now that I say all that. Remember how we were going north-northwest? It's amazing how you just reverse those and you go back. Stick with me, chat. You guys will go far. I will teach you all kinds of stuff. Never even wonder. What does this look like? we already. Yeah, I wouldn't never mind having the next thing ready to go. Well, I think we're gonna give a little bit of our future time to back at the base. Again, I just don't want our fortress to lose momentum completely. And it had. I mean, we've been doing a lot of cool, fun stuff, but we've been pretty far off from our base. So at least mixing that in where we're regularly building on it again. You guys have seen how we've done it in the past, or maybe you haven't, but we so we built the first tower and the gatehouse and the wall and some of those kind of things. We do a little bit at a time, and even for that smaller tower, I think one I built it up a ways and did an entirely different episode for the battlements and an entirely different episode for I think that was the village we'd come through when we were looking below for the cave. So I don't know if that was a bunny. That's weird. I was getting like double. It must be the bunnies. Because you get my feet, which sound relatively dainty and light, considering they're wrapped in diamond and then coated in netherite, neither of which I imagine are very stealthy materials to walk on. And then you hear the bunnies, and they sound like a big old giant strolling along beside you. Odd. So yeah, I'm guessing this was the same village we had cut through before. Yeah, there's a random torch on the cave. Got some kitty cats. We need to start taming those guys. But I think with the wings and everything, we can kind of do that in a focused effort as opposed to just piecemealing it. At least up to getting close, or maybe we have one or two species left, and then you kind of just ever ready, watchful, bouncing around and looking at villages, checking the lodge pretty regularly to see how it's coming along. All those are possible outcomes, and I would like to see, what are we on? 17. Man, oh man, what kind of. Okay, so I've gone a little bit too far. We got like 700 blocks to go. You guys can hang with me, right? I apologize. I know this is going to be long. It's going to be like an hour and a half, but it would be really good. We'll still have to do the run back through the Nether, but to be able to do whatever play I do tomorrow, leaving episodes around getting back to it and then working from the base, as opposed to just randomly stopping in the middle of the desert and trying to finish that run. I think we'd be better served by that. All right, this looks maybe like our savannah. Oh, savannah. Now, we got the question of 2050. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, got the mic moved at least. Sorry about that. Briefly, I mentioned stream decks, which again, I haven't looked at them at all, but they were getting talked about on one of the streams I was watching this morning. And I can see how for me they would be incredibly helpful. It's basically a panel of hotkeys, but you can allocate them directly to whatever streaming software you're doing. So you can pop to a black screen, open your game, close your game, pause, mute mic, mute camera, all those kinds of functions, which are really helpful. Things I'd like to have more more accessible, because the main deal is, you can't. I don't have a means, as I've said. I have uh, a manual mute on my mic, but it's at an awkward length on the headset cord, and trying to find that with one hand while trying to keep from dying with the other is, as you guys have, I'm sure, heard, much to your chagrin, far too much sometimes to get all done at the same time. So, um, that in and of itself would be hugely nice, and I think it makes a big distinction when you're going into streaming. The other functions are, you can do some things with the chat client itself too. Um, some of the things that would help with the moderating a little bit, I think. So, uh, all cool stuff. Again, if you guys have ever had any experience with decks, or something you've looked at, or something you guys have looked into and decided it's just not worth it, well, let me know. I'd be interested. Again, it looks, it's kind of an accessory, right? It's basically more function keys, but they're big, fat. Think the old telephones for for people with the huge buttons, right? So they can see and find them. It's kind of like that, but just a panel of buttons. It's basically like a board op for a TV studio or something. So you can, camera one, camera two, that kind of stuff. Um, might be interesting, but I'm interested to get anybody's take. More so for video editing, what kind of software is the recommended or stuff? I haven't made any further progress on that. Kind of waiting on the PC first. Once we get that back out and I see what the total damage is, then we'll go from there. But we've talked long enough, and I've really enjoyed this extra opportunity. As I said, I'm about 2 hours out from jumping in a Twitch that's it's going to feature JDMC. If you happen to catch this video, it should be popping up pretty quick after that. Minecraft can chill. My Minecraft in YouTube can chill. Um, if you've gotten this far, it's probably too late. You're probably into it, but close it up real quick. And if you are on Twitch, jump in there and see if you can check out JD. I don't know how late he's going tonight or anything like that, but I'm gonna hang out for at least a couple hours if he goes that long, and see who else is hanging out there. Be a treat. So take care until then, and you guys are absolutely awesome for checking in, and all the views, the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. Again, those are awesome too. I'm glad to see people want to be updated when I've got new content coming out. Hope you spread the word. Help me spread the word too. If you guys know people that enjoy the content, come on in, or send them on over. We'll see if we can include them in the growing community here. Otherwise, you guys have a wonderful rest of the weekend. I'll be back with some more content tomorrow. I am almost certain of it. So until then, take lots of breaks. Take care of one another, as we talked about in the old folks, or old folks, anybody that needs it. It doesn't have to be old folks. Wow. Wow is right, Minecraft. And stay awesome. We'll see you for the next one. For now, though, see ya.